Let me go in and talk about corporate credit cards. So this is specifically when you have a company credit card account, and then each employee has their own credit cards. And when you're managing this situation, you want to be able to see the spending for each of the individual clients separate from the whole thing. And unfortunately, different banks treat it in different ways. And also, unfortunately, sometimes they're changing it. Like Chase used to require that you did it like this. And then all of a sudden, all of my Chase clients were calling me saying, I'm getting duplicate transactions. The transactions are all coming in on both cards. Chase changed it so that you no longer need to manage the sub cards. You can just have it all going to one account, which makes it a lot easier to manage. Mm-hmm. But when you do have sub cards, typically what you do is you connect all the individual cards to the bank feed, but you ignore the corporate account number. And then when you reconcile, you only reconcile the main account, because the main account is going to be made up of all the transactions from all of the sub-accounts. So when you set it up, what you set up is a main credit card account with the main credit card account number. And then, you make sub-accounts with the last 4 digits of each of the cards, because you're going to need it. And again, when you connect to the bank, you don't connect the main, you only connect the subs. And then you just treat it as normal inside your bank feed. You take everybody's transactions individually. Now, the one thing that you do have to do, and this is like skiing on the black diamonds, it's kind of weird to think about, but if you don't do this next step, all of the cards are just going to keep accumulating and keep accumulating. Every charge ever made by that employee is just going to raise the dollar amount higher and higher and higher. And so it's a good idea to zero out the subcards every month so that you can see exactly what they spent on a month-by-month basis. So what you're essentially doing is you're having the corporate card pay off the subcard, is the easiest way to think about it. And so you make a transfer from the corporate card to the subcard. And essentially the corporate card is paying off the subcard. Just in the same way when we were talking earlier that if you're making a credit card payment, it's a transfer from your checking account to your credit card. This is a transfer from the credit card to the individual cards. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. And so you make an extra transfer, and then what that does is it should match what's on the statement, because your statement is frequently broken out by each individual person's card. And so whatever the total spending was for that particular month, you make that transfer with the statement ending date from the corporate card to the individual card for that dollar amount, and it will zero it out to the month. Then when you reconcile, again, you reconcile just the corporate card. All the subcards are on it. And at the very bottom, you're going to see in, out, in, out, in, out for each of the payments to each of the subcards. So if you have 2 subcards, you'll see in and out and in and out. And you just check off both of them because they both equal 0. Because again, with the corporate card, it's showing its transactions and all the sub-transactions. So you just see if they've spent 100, like on the example here, 195.70, you're going to see when you reconcile 195.70 in and 195.70 out, because it's showing the corporate card out and the sub card in from that little transfer that I'm telling you to make. So you just add it, it adds up to 0, and it doesn't change your reconciliation, but every month everybody's card goes to 0. Okay, so like I said, here's what that looks like. This is reconciling all the transactions on the statement, and then here are those extra transactions 288.94, 288.94. So you just check them both off, and that equals 0. And 124.90, 124.90, check them both off, they equal 0.